नमस्ते सबको। हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। जो और आई थिंक ये मंथली नहीं बोलूँगा, 2 मंथली, क्योंकि 2 महीने बाद ये कर रहा हूँ। आई थिंक लास्ट जून में किया था, संजीत और ध्रुव के साथ ही किया था लास्ट ऐसा मंथ एंड वाला वीडियो। सो आई थिंक जुलाई में मैंने खुद ने, मैं बोलूँ कि मैंने कुछ ज़्यादा फिल्म देखे नहीं थे। आई थिंक हार्डली 3 या 4 देखे थे। तो मैं सोचा यार कि मैं खुद जस्टिस नहीं कर पाऊंगा, सो मैं बोला कि चलो जुलाई और अगस्त का साथ में मिलकर करते हैं। सो लेट्स बिगिन कि लाइक कौन से फिल्म्स देखे हैं, कौन से अच्छे लगे हैं। सो लाइक अमर्त्य, लाइक तुझसे शुरू करते कि कौन से फिल्म देखे, कौन से अच्छे लगे तुझे?
मेरे से ही स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा।
ए से करेंगे ना।
ए से, इसलिए तो मैंने बोला ना ए, अमर्त्य से।
अम, क्या मतलब सीक्वेंस क्यों मेंटेन करना पड़ रहा है जो भी है। सो मैं भूल गया था जुलाई नाम का एक मंथ था, ठीक है ना, इसलिए आई कंप्लीटली फॉरगॉट दैट आई मेड अ लिस्ट एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. सो आई रिमेंबर्ड आई वॉच्ड एम फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. सो यू नो या
कौन सा?
1930 1931 फ्रिट्ज lang एम.
अच्छा, ओके, एम, हाँ हाँ, फ्रिज लैंग, बराबर।
फ्रिट्ज lang
अच्छा
एम.
अच्छा, you have like all that list का stuff that you're going to mention. Okay. Got it.
नो भाई, उतना भी प्लग नहीं करने वाला हूँ.
अच्छा,
All I'm
ठीक है.
not doing that. I think that list got
Okay.
plugged enough anyway. But no, what I meant is that I think Fritz Lang का जो movie है, it's available on YouTube, by the way, if anybody is interested to watch, and I think people should watch क्योंकि any police procedural genre which you are familiar with, any type of gangster genre, any type of investigative genre you are familiar with, all of them owe their existence to M, more or less. एम का
अच्छा,
बेसिक स्टोरी है कि एक पीडोफाइल कम, आई थिंक या पीडोफाइल बेसिकली इज किडनैपिंग चिल्ड्रन.
Yeah.
Okay, so the police and the administration are unable to find the guy. Now all the criminals of the city, they start trying to find that pedophile because due to his work their businesses are getting affected. So उन लोगों का bottom line का problem आ रहा है.
अच्छा,
So the movie basically intercuts between criminal side as well as the police side, and
Yeah.
there are filmmaking techniques in M which are so, you see that movie and you think that it is made at least in 2010 or 2000 because the
बट
filmmaking
आई थिंक
technique.
ये तूने अभी जो बोला ना कि वो दो इंटरकट हो रहा है क्रिमिनल्स और पुलिस में, जैसे
हाँ
अभी
हाँ
अपन ने देखा था वी ओन दिस सिटी में, जैसे काइंड ऑफ ऐसा
yeah
सिमिलर
yeah
देखा
yeah
है मैंने।
yeah, but you think about that for a second and then you realize M was released 90 years ago. So just think about that for a second. कितना revolutionary movie है. So on that regard, and it's a very well made and it's a very entertaining movie. So just watch that. Honestly, YouTube में है, कोई excuse नहीं है, देखो देखो क्या है, अच्छा मूवी है.
सो
तो
नेक्स्ट
नेक्स्ट
कौन से देखे?
मैं ही बोलूं या ध्रुव बोलेगा?
श्योर, ध्रुव जा सकता है, इट्स लाइक एक एक
Thank
करके
you,
बात
Amartya.
करता है।
खुद के दिमाग में नहीं आ रहा था इसलिए मुझे मुझे बोल दिया देखने के लिए.
Yep.
Anyways, I saw a lot actually. I saw a lot of stuff, especially this month, and a lot of good stuff. So I had to cut down whatever to recommend because I didn't know what to select. So first movie I wanted to recommend was is called Viridiana. This is a person's
हाँ,
name. It's directed by Louis Buñuel, who's
Hmm.
master of surrealism. If anyone is into David Lynch ka cinema or like any of the sort of experimental dreamlike imagery or whatever, like I think his Louis Buñuel is like the one of the forefathers, I think, of surrealism in any case. But I think this film itself is released in 1961. I think it has. I'm not going to go into like jo unka like political context those time. I think there's a lot more to discuss whenever someone wants to talk about it in like sort of extensively. But basically, the story is about this soon-to-be nun Viridiana, who goes, who's who's told by someone in the convent she's about to become the nun in, that she has to go and visit her uncle who she's never met before, because the uncle kind of pays for her education before that and everything, but he's never met her. So she she doesn't want to go really, because she wants to go, like adhere to like nun life and all that, and she's basically like but she's told to go. So when she goes, it's basically she discovers that the uncle actually doesn't intend for her to go back, and actually wants her to marry her, because she reminds him of his dead wife. So it's like already plots, like the basic plot itself is twisted. Imagine that, of course, being released in 1961, which itself is like another thing. But like I think more than the twisted element, I think surrealism may, I think generally people, whoever has watched David Lynch, I think David Lynch is the most popular, I think, surrealist for cinephiles also. Correct me if I'm wrong, if
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
any
more or
other,
less, yeah,
right? So if
more or
people
less.
know how his cinema is, it has like a, it's very showy, and I don't mean that as a negative. I like David Lynch a lot, but like his cinema is very like uska, you know, it's a surrealist film. But like with Viridiana or like with Luis Buñuel ka other films also, surrealism is very subtle. It's sab kuch, it he takes out all this discomfort and the idea of, I mean, the central idea is of incest, which is very disturbing in any case. And then there's other, Amartya, your face reactions are amazing as usual, but no.
क्या ही
So
पता
the,
है.
nahi, so the central conceit is interesting, but I don't want to spoil. There's a point in the film
Hmm.
after which you completely don't know where the plot is going to go, because something happens where you're like, oh, I didn't expect that to happen, and then it's basically like a completely sort of it becomes about class, like how like I've been watching Parasite and all that recently. It becomes very much about how a class warfare almost, and how the people who are poor also are as evil as the people who are rich. I mean, that, take off that what you will, but that's what the film kind of positions as what it's going to say. So I think again, making something like that in general is provocative, and I think his provocative cinema is still very relevant. I think if Viridiana is released today, I think I don't think it'll be received very well. Firstly,
I don't.
because
Yep, yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
because the subject matter, because of what it is about and what all it challenges. Because I think nowadays we pay more attention to the subject matter versus filmmaking, or like how that subject matter is communicated. So
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, I'm
ऐसा है
going
सच
to
में.
get into trouble if I expand more on this, but no. So only
यार
Viridiana
तूने
people
तूने
should
आई थिंक
watch.
मतलब इतना बोल दिया कि यार ऐसा मन करता है कि ये फिल्म देखूं, और अगर ये फिल्म पसंद भी आ जाए तो यार एक वो डिस्कशन हो जाना चाहिए यार ये फिल्म के ऊपर.
Viridiana, I mean, whatever Luis Buñuel makes, I don't know what is his most pop. Do you guys know? Amartya, do you know what his popular work is? Something like that. Or am
आई
I the
थिंक
only
यही
one who's
है
into
शायद.
I
surrealism?
think you
ध्रुव.
are. I think you are more or less the only one. I
I'm
can't
the only
exactly
crazy
recall.
one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you are the one who said it, not me. It's fine.
Fair enough. No.
Yeah,
I understand. It's okay.
yeah, yeah.
इसलिए तो
Okay.
Okay.
हाँ
Yeah.
Uh,
खैर. एक्चुअली लाइक मूविंग ऑन, मैंने लाइक मैंने तो आई थिंक जुलाई में ही कम फिल्म देखे थे, मैं वही बोलता हूँ.
Hmm.
मैंने जुलाई में शुरू किया था कि मैंने प्यासा देखा था, रीवॉच किया. अगर
wow.
रीवॉच को भी मैंने सिर्फ आधा पहले देखा था पहले, फिर
Hmm.
अभी आधा देखा था. प्यासा मतलब बहुत ही अच्छी फिल्म लगी इन काइंड ऑफ शूटिंग एंड इन काइंड ऑफ डायरेक्टिंग. और मतलब कैसे अपन अभी जैसे बॉलीवुड फिल्म्स कैसे अपन देखते हैं कि यार किधर भी गाने डाल दिए बस फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट, गाने डाल दिए और बस ऐसे किधर भी डांस वांस हो रहा है. ठीक है, कट
Hmm.
टू ये प्यासा देखता हूँ मैं. हर
Hmm.
गाने का एक मतलब है, हर गाने का एक मतलब, हर गाना कहानी को आगे बढ़ाता है. हर गाना
Hmm.
ऐसा करता है कि यार कुछ बोलना चाह रहा है. और मैंने आई थिंक ये फ़िल्म को मेरी एक दोस्त के साथ लाइक डिस्कस भी किया था, लाइक
Hmm.
वो पूरा डिस्कशन किया था. मज़ा आ गया था वो फ़िल्म देख के यार,
Hmm.
कि लगा कि एट द एंड आर्टिस्ट्स का यही होता है. और लाइक आई थिंक गुरुदत्त ने ये फ़िल्म में और कागज़ के फूल दोनों में ही में पूरा आर्टिस्ट का स्ट्रगल और जैसा वो जो
Hmm.
होता है वगैरह, वो उन्होंने लाइक बराबर से दिखाया था. सो आई थिंक मुझे तो बहुत अच्छी लगी थी वैसा था. सो या अमर्त्य, तुझे नेक्स्ट योर पिक इज नेक्स्ट.
Yeah. So my pick is एक मूवी था जो मैं बहुत इंटरेस्टेड था बिकॉज ऑफ वन एक्टर. दिस गाय is called, this guy's name is Sidney Poitier. So
Oh.
yeah, I wanted, I I have heard a lot about him, so I wanted to see his stuff because you know, for a person who, one of the first people of color who actually won the Oscar, you know, and not as a not, you know, not the person who won due to Gone with the Wind, a person who did a serious dramatic role,
Hmm.
you know, and won
Hmm.
because of that. So I finally saw In the Heat of the Night.
Acha.
Oh, god damn.
Who's the director? I forgot the name.
Norman Jewison. Norman
No,
Jewison.
okay, okay.
So, In the Heat of the Night, basically, it's a town during 1967. Okay, एक मर्डर हो जाता है मेयर का रात को. Dead of the night, एक मर्डर हो जाता है. One racist police officer. Okay, he discovers the murder and he's being instructed by his, you know, inspector that you have to figure out, find the likely suspect. So our guy, because this is 60s America, of course he does the one thing everybody does. He goes to the station and he sees a black guy in suit sitting there, and he decides, oh, this is our guy. So he goes and he arrests the guy. Literally arrests the guy. दीवार पर ठीक है, अरेस्ट करता है, अरेस्ट करके ले
Hmm.
जाता है पुलिस स्टेशन में जाके. ऑल दिस फाइल, दिस ब्लैक गाय स्टर्न, काम, कंजर्व, कूल, कोई रिएक्शन नहीं है उसका. Finally, he goes in, and then we learn who this black guy is. This black guy is a police officer.
Huh?
He's been passing through. He's
Oh.
been
Yeah.
passing through.
North say, right? Or where is he passing through? Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
a no, he's the police
yeah.
officer
I
in
think he
the
was in
north, right?
Philadelphia. I think he was in Philadelphia, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
क्योंकि सीक्वल में फिलाडेल्फिया को सैन फ्रांसिस्को कर दिया था. No bloody
Okay.
reason. Anyway, so
Okay.
then the police officer, the head of that town, I think he was played by Rod Steiger. Yeah. So
हाँ.
Yeah.
Rod Steiger finally decides that we need help, and even then, him asking for help is a huge thing
Hmm.
because each and every second, each and every subordinate, each and every person, everybody can't get over the fact that they're talking to a black guy. So each and every time they're talking with him, he is always addressed as, "You keep in your place, boy." That boy word, it's always there. You keep in your place, boy. And Sidney Poitier is fantastic in this because you can see that controlled rage. You know, it's there. It's just simmering there. कुछ भी
Yeah.
कुछ ज़्यादा बोला, he's going to explode. But he's not. It's like
I mean,
proto
there
Denzel
is. I was
Washington.
about to say there is one explosion.
Yeah.
The
I'm
iconic.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
coming there.
Yeah.
It's a proto Denzel Washington guy. This. Okay.
Yeah.
So they finally go to investigate, and one of the chief suspects was one of the richest person in the town. So Rod Steiger is driving his car with him in tow. They're going through that. It's a plantation, ठीक है ना?
Hmm.
Plantation जहाँ पर Negroes सब cotton pick कर रहे हैं.
हाँ.
You can see that, and it's like you are seeing that. Just imagine the black guy sitting beside you, seeing that, doesn't know how to react. He goes there. He goes, and since he's the police officer, he starts talking with the rich guy. The rich guy directly says, he starts talking with the rich guy and he starts directly asking him, where were you in that night in Friday? Because you are our chief person, where are you in that Friday? The rich guy, because he is a plantation owner, his first instinct is direct slap कर दिया black guy को, police officer को direct slap कर दिया.
Hmm.
Now, if this was any other black guy, he would have stayed quiet. No, the instant that slap happens, the black guy slaps back. Instant. And I'm telling you, this is 1967, this is 2022. No matter which year you are, no matter which time you are, that moment you are going to cheer. That moment you are going to shout in joy because that is pitch perfect. There is no edit, nothing. It's just furious slap. He slaps, he looks at the guy, and then he walks away.
Yeah.
And then the rich plantation guy asks Rod Steiger, aren't you going to do anything about it? And he's like, yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
Because what else are they going to do? And
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say that the overall case was very interesting per se, but as a concept of exploration of racial dynamics,
Yeah.
I think this movie was expertly done because there was always a tension throughout in that town.
Sweat,
And
right? Everyone's
yeah,
sweating, from whatever I
everyone is
remember.
sweating. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's always like we are told क्योंकि green book में भी था, they're going into the deep south is racially very
कंजर्वेटिव है,
dangerous,
बराबर.
Yeah.
very conservative.
हाँ.
Yeah, in the heat of the night you actually get it,
भाई
why
ये
it is.
काइंड ऑफ जैसा मतलब डू द राइटिंग जैसा काइंड ऑफ उसके
Yeah,
लेवल्स
yeah,
में
yeah,
जैसे.
more or less. Yeah, more or less, yeah.
I'm
क्योंकि
guessing
do the
Do the
right
Right
thing
Thing is much more
very much in, yeah,
unconventional, though, right?
unconventional,
Compared to the. Yeah.
but I think it shares some thematic similarities too. क्योंकि
Yeah,
sweat
of
is
course.
another thing. Heat. New
Yeah.
York was extremely hot in
Yeah.
Do
The
the Right
hottest day
Thing.
of the summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hottest
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because heat and environmental circumstances always rise the tensions up everywhere, and especially
Yeah.
if anything is racially charged, it's always
Yeah.
better to show it in story like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic
No,
movie,
definitely.
highly recommended. But yeah,
हाँ. ध्रुव.
Yeah, so much more. Actually, I was about to say much more away from the politics, but it's actually not. So this is 1975's The Passenger. This movie I've actually been flagging up again. I'm using
again.
flagging up a lot in my Instagram thing. The Passenger करके. It's by Michelangelo Antonioni, another European
Oh,
director who's
पता है.
who's
Red Desert or the
Red Desert, La
Laventura.
Ventura. Yeah, yeah. He very influential in.
Is this
Bolo,
the art house? Is this the art house James Bond movie?
yeah, it's that. This is the
Yeah,
art house James Bond movie
yeah, yeah,
from my perspective. So
yeah,
basically,
yeah,
this is about. The film is about like a dissatisfied reporter slash documentarian. Like he's trying to document some guerrilla warfare that's going on in an African subcontinent. Like the film opens with him trying to document stuff. Uh, but the film never has like a chase scene. There is one chase scene, but apart from that one chase scene, there is nothing. It's basically like he's clueless throughout the first sort of segment of the film, and then he goes back to his hotel after figuring out that he can't find out anything about whatever he's trying to document, and then he finds the dead body of this guy he thinks he knew, or like he had talked to once. All his passport and everything is there. uh, Sanjeet has joined us here. Like he doesn't join us on his own
on our own
podcast.
podcast, he doesn't get. Bakaas hai bhai.
Yeah. No, but so where I was basically saying that he assumes the identity of this deceased man because he wants to get away from his life. So he thinks that he'll there's a literal scene in the film where he's taking out the passport photo of this man and putting it onto his passport, and that's a literal sort of copying an identity. And then he tries to sort of lead a life. And this guy's an arms dealer, or was an arms dealer, so he has his own set of complications, people following him. Like you get shots of, like there's a scene in which as soon as he assumes that identity, two people are there in the background standing and looking towards him while he's talking on the phone, and you like him don't know what is going on, basically, which is where my James Bond sort of, not James Bond, but like a spy thriller thing
Yeah, yeah.
comes into play, right?
बट
Which is what I was.
ये इंग्लिश फिल्म है ना. आई थिंक ये क्योंकि
This is
मैंने अभी
English.
देखा जैक निकलसन है उसमें, और आई थिंक इसकी सेकंड इंग्लिश फिल्म है जिस आई थिंक
I
फर्स्ट
think
है ब्लो
third or
अप.
third and final, I think.
Is it
ओके.
First is
blowout?
Blow Up.
Is it
Blow
blow
Up.
up is first? Yeah, blow up
Blow
was his
Up,
first.
yeah, Blow Up was his first. That was UK. Then this very weird movie called Zabriskie Point, which was 1970s. That's American.
Hmm.
And then this is the
आई
last
थिंक
film because I don't think he got funding after that anywhere. Even in Italy, he didn't. So, which is very
नहीं.
weird
बट एक्चुअली
considering.
देख मैंने लाइक इस फिल्म में के माइकल एंजेलो एंटोनियोनी की मैंने लावेंटियोरा देखा और मैंने लाइक ब्लो अप देखा. मुझे
Huh.
दोनों ही पसंद नहीं आई सच बोले तो. लाइक
So no, that's totally understandable, and I think he has a very specific style. And I think if you don't, I think though The Passenger is his most easily accessible movie, because I think it
Because
leans
of
a
the
little.
genre, because of the genre.
हाँ, because वो genre aspect है थोड़ा
नहीं
उसमें
देख
ज़्यादा.
जॉनरा एस्पेक्ट में वही बोलूँगा कि जब ये ब्लो अप भी देखा ना तब जाके मुझे पता नहीं क्या चीज एक चीज लगी जो बहुत वीक लग रही थी, और मुझे उसी चीज की वजह से वो फिल्म जरा भी अच्छी नहीं लग रही थी कंपेयर टू जब मैंने द कन्वर्सेशन देखी, जो लाइक फ्रांसिस फोर्ड कोप्पोला इससे बहुत इंस्पायर्ड
Mm-hmm.
था इस फिल्म से।
Yeah.
लाइक कन्वर्सेशन लेजिट एट द एंड तक मुझे एंगेज कर रही थी, एक लाइक उस कैरेक्टर में इन्वेस्ट करने में मजबूर कर रही थी।
Yeah.
इसलिए मुझे, और काइंड ऑफ ऑब्वियसली बहुत सिमिलर थीम्स भी है दोनों फिल्म में,
Yeah.
वैसा है। सो मुझे वो काफी अच्छा लगा कंपेयर टू मतलब ये। लेकिन
So
ठीक है,
I'll
बहुत लोग मानते हैं, लाइक स्कॉर्सेसी खुद मानता है कि लाइक ये बहुत लाइक वन ऑफ हिज फेवरेट
no.
डायरेक्टर्स है।
So I think again, it's we have a lot of filmmakers like this. We'll have, I think, sure, Amartya probably also has. You have, I have filmmakers who are very influential. You get the
Oh yeah,
influence, but you don't like the films, right?
oh yeah,
So it's
definitely.
basically like that. So
हम्म।
La Ventura, even if I like it or not like it, it is a influence. It is one of the most influential art house films because it introduced a style which was not known to the public before that. Like it will have that stamp regardless of how like if I like it or not,
Regardless of
right?
whatever we feel about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we can not like it, which is totally fine. And I think Antonioni as a director is like that also. And I think Passenger maybe style to is similar only. So basically, I don't think it'll work for you still. I would
हम्म।
assume if those two films haven't worked. He doesn't
अच्छा।
care about plot is the big thing. He
Hmm.
genuinely doesn't care about plot. He's one of the
हम्म।
few filmmakers, and almost like he almost teases the audience कि my film has this plot, and then he actively pushes the plot away. Like he'll be like, मेरी movie mystery thriller है at the beginning, and then he'll be like, नहीं हटाओ mystery को, नहीं करनी mystery. So that's his thing. How much ever you're into that thing, it's a different case altogether.
No,
हम्म।
but
But but
is this focus on the characters or on a specific vibe? That's the bigger question,
characters
right?
and characters. So in the Passenger, it's a character landscape vibe. All three, the combination.
Okay.
There are in something like Blow Up. I think Sanket in Blow Up he cares. He's I think the character is the least of his concerns. He once
Hmm.
described actors as objects moving in space. So make of
हम्म।
that what you will. Like he uses. So again, I can understand why anyone will be turned.
Not an inaccurate description, but yeah. Anyway.
But he treats them like mannequins in some sense, in some movies at least. In Blow Up, I think a lot more than in Passenger. I think Passenger, Jack Nicholson's personality is big, right? Like he's one of the few actors who's known to play big. He gives big performances. Like I can think of The
Yeah,
Shining. I don't want to repeat my Shining shtick. So yes,
I can think of Joker in Batman, but okay,
but
cool.
he's big, right? Like his performance
Yeah.
style is very big. Like he is so reined in the Passenger that it's unbelievable. I was blown away. I was like, this is Jack Nicholson. I can't recognize this Jack Nicholson, and I mean that in the best way. He is absolutely fantastic in this film. I have not seen
You're
many.
make
मतलब
you're
वो
making
हॉलीवुड से कुछ अलग है इसमें, जैक निकलसन का, लाइक काइंड ऑफ जैसे
Oh,
वन फ्लो ओवर
totally.
द कुकूज नेस्ट है, और
Oh
या फिर
yeah, yeah.
शाइनिंग है वो वगैरह
That's
सब।
what I was saying. That in those films, Jack Nicholson is performing. You can see him giving. He's doing acting, big acting, which is not a
हम्म।
bad thing. It's in sync with those films ka
it's
mode.
acting. It's acting in
Here,
bold and neon.
exactly.
It's
Here, he's just. It's not even subtle performance. It's being passive in a
internal.
way which
It's
is
internalized. It's
yeah, and
internalized.
it's such a soft performance. You watch him and you genuinely think that this guy is a little clueless and he's trying to sort of figure his way out in sort of whatever landscapes they're going through. Landscapes because they're traveling throughout. They're kind of running away in Europe somewhere, which is my James Bond car, which is why I thought of James Bond. Uh,
अच्छा।
but
You're making this sound more like that very bad movie. Remember that movie, The Tourist?
it is
John.
definitely not like that, Amartya, because
अच्छा,
Yeah,
Tourist is
you're
very
make
वो
plotty,
एंजेलिना जोली और
yeah.
जॉन डेप
That
वाला।
movie was bad. That
भाई
movie was
मतलब उस फिल्म के, लाइक मैंने देखी नहीं, लेकिन मैं इतने गंदे रिव्यूज आते हैं, लेकिन उस फिल्म का डायरेक्टर इतना
Oh yeah,
मतलब
he's some
बड़ा,
German director, right?
हाँ, फ्लोरियन हैंकल वॉन डॉनस मार्क है,
Yeah,
जिसने
yeah,
द
yeah.
लाइव्स ऑफ अदर्स बनाई थी यार, मतलब ऑस्कर विनिंग फिल्म, मतलब वाह यार कितनी बढ़िया फिल्म थी, और उसने फिर ये फॉलो अप किया।
नहीं वो तो ट्रांजिशन में हो जाता है ना कभी कभी when you're going from international sort of
too big
production
Hollywood.
to
Yeah,
this.
Yeah, yeah,
good
yeah.
good comparison, because Antonioni ke sath ye nahi hua because Antonioni went from Italian art house to American whatever. But my point
Hmm.
with a Passenger is I am fond of his style, so I want to actually rewatch La Ventura and Blow Up after Passenger because I think I'll appreciate them more.
Hmm.
But I know Amartya is a fan of Burning, right? Amartya, Lee
Yes,
Chang
yes.
Dong's Burning,
Extremely, extremely. Yeah.
South Korean film. For
Mm-hmm.
some
Yeah.
reason, Antonioni's Passenger reminded me of Burning. Not in a
The
totally that way,
pace,
but it, huh?
the
The
pace.
pacing also, but like just there's something in it. There's something. I don't.
कुछ तो
It's
बात
hard to
थी,
put.
कुछ
Yeah,
तो बात है।
कुछ
Vibe,
तो
vibe.
था.
It's basically the
vibe
vibe.
हो
vibe तो
सकता है,
है.
डेफिनेटली हो सकता
Vibe
है,
तो है.
डेफिनेटली।
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I totally understand your reservation on La
And
Ventura and Blow Up. I can see why people don't like his films. He's a very uh, I don't know how to put it, like very much divisive director in that sense. Like even amidst the cinephile community, he is. So
हुँ,
yeah,
हो सकता है डेफ़िनेटली।
yeah.
सो मैंने अगर कोई अच्छी फ़िल्म देखी है, लाइक मैं तुझे बोलूँ या तुम लोग को बोलूँ, मैंने सिर्फ़ 6 फ़िल्म देखी है अब तक, जुलाई और अगस्त मिला के। लाइक एक टीवी शो है, मैं डेफ़िनेटली उसके बारे में मेंशन करूँगा, लेकिन मैं 6 फ़िल्म के बारे में छोटा-छोटा मैं डेफ़िनेटली बोलूँगा। एक एक फ़िल्म है, उसके बारे में दिल खोल के थोड़ा बोल सकता हूँ ऐसे, लाइक पुटआउन शिक्षायम एक्चुअली मैंने देखा था।
Yeah,
वो
okay.
देख ली है, मैंने तो उस पे बात भी की है, अच्छी भी लगी, बहुत अच्छी लगी थी। फिर जाके मैंने विक्रम देखी थी, अमर्त्य को इनवाइट भी किया था, लेकिन अमर्त्य अमर्त्य आ नहीं पाया था, लेकिन विक्रम ख़ैर उस पे भी बात कर चुका हूँ, ऐसे वैसे तो मैं इसलिए ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगा, लेकिन अच्छी लगी, नॉट दैट ग्रेट, नॉट दैट बैड वैसे। फिर जाके मैंने देखी इटर्नल सनशाइन ऑफ द स्पॉटलेस माइंड, ओह माय गॉड! लाइक मैंने
Kaufman.
ये फ़िल्म को रीवॉच की, ओह! मेरा हक्का-बक्का हो गया, ऐसा हिंदी में कहावत है ना, मैं दंग रह गया ऐसा यार, कि क्या देख ली मैंने यार, कि कैसे उस बंदे ने, चार्ली कॉफमैन ने सोची, और लाइक आई थिंक वो डायरेक्टर ने मिशेल गोंड्री ने पूरा एग्जीक्यूट किया, क्योंकि यहाँ पे यार कितने सारे हैं जो मैंने सुना भी है कि प्रैक्टिकल इफेक्ट्स वगैरह सब यूज़ किए थे इसमें, और उन्होंने कैसे, और उस बंदे ने क्या सोचा होगा कि यार बस वो थोड़ी मेमोरी है, वो मिटा दे तो क्या होगा? और फिर
Hmm.
जाके उसके आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स भी क्या हो गए, और जिम कैरी बोलते हैं ना, बहुत लोग को वो कॉमेडिक परफॉर्मेंस में ज़्यादा अच्छे लगते हैं वगैरह सब है। नो डाउट मैंने हार्डली कोई देखा होगा, लेकिन मुझे ये फ़िल्म और ट्रूमैन शो, उन दोनों फ़िल्मों में यार मुझे सच में अच्छे लगे यार। ट्रूमैन शो में फिर भी थोड़ी कॉमेडी है, ये एकदम डार्क, सटल, सीरियस एकदम रोल, लाइक वो कैरेक्टर प्ले करते हैं कि लाइक ओके, आई डोंट वांट टू टॉक टू हर, लेकिन फिर वो
He
आती है और फिर जाके उसके साथ वो बात करता है, और
he
बहुत सही
plays
है।
Charlie Kaufman. He's the
Yeah, yeah.
Charlie
He
Kaufman guy,
basically
right?
plays
In
Charlie
this,
Kaufman. Yeah.
he every male actor is a Charlie Kaufman. Yeah,
Yeah, every
in
Kaufman
yeah.
movie is basically that in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Even
not a
अच्छा,
even his
dig at
last
him.
movie,
I
even
love
his
the
last
guy.
movie, even his
So
last
I love
movie.
the guy.
Yeah, even his last movie. I'm thinking of
I'm
ending
thinking
things.
of ending things. Mm,
Yeah. It is
yeah.
that.
अच्छा, ओहो! ओके,
Yeah.
ये नहीं पता था मुझे कि लाइक
I
Yeah,
ये
mean,
yeah,
he
ऐसा।
basically वो थोड़ा सा neurotic, थोड़ा सा nervous male जो lead होता है सारी films में, I think उसकी, from
yeah, yeah.
whatever I know, right? Like whatever he's written at least.
कुछ ज्यादा ही रेफरेंसेस में बात करता है, बहुत ज्यादा न्यूरोटिक है. Yeah, that's basically him.
Hmm.
हुँ,
All
But
of
I
that.
हुँ,
think most people who are Charlie Kaufman fans also, I think this is the best film. I think this is his
Yeah,
best
yeah,
film also,
yeah.
because he's also not directed it, which makes a big difference. Like I know people love his
There are
work as
people
a
who love
director also,
Cinedosh.
but
There are people who love Cinedosh New York. I think that's
एंड
how you
एक्चुअली वो
pronounce
मैं
it.
वही बोल रहा हूँ कि मैंने उसकी फ़िल्म ये देखी नहीं है, कि लाइक मतलब सिनेडो न्यूयॉर्क मैंने लाइक नहीं देखी है, लाइक पता
best
नहीं
of
क्यों,
लव.
लाइक अब तक।
I've seen
Best
it
of
four
it. Yeah,
एक्चुअली
yeah.
times. It's
बहुत
best of
लोग ने
लव.
बोला है कि यार वो कुछ अलग है, और लाइक ऑब्वियसली टिपिकल चार्ली कॉफमैन, लेकिन एट द एंड वो समझना, जिसको समझे वो बहुत अच्छी बात है, जिसको नहीं समझे वो तो बेकार ही लगेगी एक
नहीं, I
ऐसा है।
mean, I think समझ में, like I know complicated है, which is like Charlie Kaufman doesn't make not complicated, but I think उसको डिस्टिल करके इमोशनल जो, आई थिंक ये इटर्नल सनशाइन हैज दैट एबिलिटी, लाइक इट ब्रेक्स योर हार्ट एंड इट काइंड ऑफ मेक्स इट इटर्नल सनशाइन. सिनेक्टेकी
Like
न्यूयॉर्क में आई थिंक Philip Seymour Hoffman is fantastic. Like he
Mm.
is a fantastic actor in general, or was at least a fantastic actor in general. And I think he's so good in Synecdoche that he, I think, gives it heart, which I think Kaufman doesn't. So
Yeah,
whatever, it's a comparative
because Kaufman
whatever.
is,
But yeah,
because Kaufman is more interested in trying to see how much more complicated he can make the entire story, the entire world around it. To all the
yeah,
people who are thinking whether they should watch it or not, think about this like Inception before Inception, more or less. Inception is basically a much more simplified version of Cineto. Yeah,
Synecdoche. Oh,
yeah. That's how I took it. So that made it easier for me to get it.
बट पता नहीं
Otherwise,
ये आई थिंक ये फिल्म बहुत लोग को लाइक वो कंफ्यूजिंग लगे ना लगे मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन एट द
hmm,
एंड वो जो कोर थीम होता है कि लाइक
yeah,
लव, रोमांस रोमांस आई डोंट थिंक मैं बोलूंगा, लेकिन लव है जो कोर थीम पूरे फिल्म में रिटेन की है, जो वो एक चीज बहुत ही अमेजिंग लगी, जो आई डोंट थिंक मैं
yeah,
बोल पाऊंगा यार कभी, क्योंकि ऐसी फिल्म हार्डली कभी मैंने देखी होगी कि जस्ट लाइक उन्होंने एक बस एक रोमांटिक स्टोरी को इतना घुमा के ऐसा ऐसा किया है, और ऐसे ऐसा ऐसा कुछ सोचा भी है कि ओके ऐसा कुछ हो सकता है कि इरेजिंग योर मेमोरी है ऐसा कुछ, और
yeah,
फिर जाके उसको पता चलता है कि नहीं यार ये नहीं करना चाहिए था यार, ये भाग रहा है वो, कि
yeah,
उसके साथ वो बुरे मेमोरीज के साथ अच्छे मेमोरीज भी बाहर निकल रहे हैं। सो
yeah.
ओके यार ऐसा हो रहा था। सो
Breakup anxiety movie.
हाँ
Yeah.
यार, अरे
Basically.
बहुत लोग मैं आई थिंक ये लास्ट में गाना बजता है, मुझे पता नहीं है किसका गाना है वो, लाइक फिर मैंने यूट्यूब पे गया था, वो यूट्यूब पे वो गाना सुना मैंने,
हाँ.
उसके नीचे लाइक कमेंट्स थोड़ा ऐसे पढ़ रहा था और देखा कि यार ये मेरा ब्रेकअप के बाद वाला फिल्म है यार, कितने लोग बोल रहे हैं कि यार ये ब्रेकअप के बाद वाला परफेक्ट फिल्म है, ब्रेकअप के बाद वाला परफेक्ट फिल्म बोला।
I
Kaufman,
don't think it's a
Kaufman would be
perfect film. Like
Kaufman
you'll
would
just
be
start.
Kaufman would be so happy to hear all this. He would be like, people are not understanding which time to watch this movie. See.
I would
Yeah,
think after watching it, after a breakup, if you watch it, you would just want to not have a breakup, which is weird. This movie
not
is
having a breakup means whatever, man. Anyway, continue.
yeah, it's yeah,
बट
I was going to say something, then I'm like, yeah, whatever. Fuck it. Continue.
इसलिए अमर्त्य कमिंग बैक टू यू या
Oh, okay, wait.
आप
मैं
हो
भूल गया
सर
था,
अभी
मुझे
भी.
कुछ कहना है. मैं भूल गया. No, I was wondering what I should choose. So, okay, I'm going to take the safer option here. Prey.
प्रे
Prey, right?
Prey, the Predator prequel.
Yeah.
हाँ हाँ जो तूने मुझे हाँ बराबर 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 बोला
Yeah.
था, ये
So
आई थिंक
yeah, this franchise is very simple, and anybody who thinks that it isn't simple, you're not getting it. It's very simple. Make a movie completely disconnected from any other genre. Make an action movie, make a crime movie, make any movie, and then in the second half, just drop a predator into it. Predator एक alien being है, आता है, उसका एक ही काम है, he's going to hunt everyone. That's it. He's the immovable object. He's the antagonist you cannot defeat. That's all. That's the only
This
thing
is
is
the Alien, basically, isn't it? Like Alien,
Yeah.
like the movie franchise Alien.
More or less, but this is basically even more simplified than Alien. Alien is like, he's already there. He's the boogeyman. This guy comes out of nowhere. You're just
Okay, okay,
watching
okay.
him through.
Okay, okay.
The best movie is
Slasher
the
film,
first,
hai na? Like the first
more
one
or
was like
less.
a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So first Predator film वही था. Couple of mercenaries are hired to, destroy a guerrilla movement. So they are moving to the South American jungles. And then suddenly all of those badasses are killed by one alien, comes out of nowhere, starts killing them. Arnold Schwarzenegger with all his guns and everything can't stop him. He finally has to, use traps, ropes and everything, and finally has to defeat him by sheer cunning.
Yeah.
Simple movie, cool movie, 90 minutes movie. 90 minutes movie. Come on, man. Predator
This is
2.
going to be so perfect for the film I'm going to recommend after this. The transition जो बैठेगा ना.
Yeah.
बोलो.
Then
बोलो.
Yeah, so then आता है Predator 2. Not as good as Predator, obviously. And
Yeah.
there is a point to this discussion, by the way. इतना preamble दे रहा हूँ, there is a point to this. प्रेडेटर 2 में भी बात वही है, ठीक है ना, एक गैंग वार हो रहा है लॉस एंजलिस में. Okay, so within that they drop a predator into that gang war and the police officer gets involved in this.
Hmm.
The predator is murdering people from both sides of the gangs and now the predator is involved and the police
This is
officer is
2, right?
investigating what the hell is
Predators.
happening. Yeah, Predator
Hmm.
2. The problem with the rest of the movie franchises is they took it way too seriously. They took the world building way too seriously. That's the problem. Prey doesn't do that. Prey takes the movie, takes it back to 1790. I think that was the year 1790.
Hmm.
They are just basically stating that this is the first time a predator has arrived on Earth.
Hmm.
So the concept of the story is this is a girl who is a Comanche girl who is, finally decided to become a hunter. So this is kind of a coming of age story. So she's training herself. She's, fighting with a brother. She wants to be taken seriously. Typical coming of age story. Her only problem is the big hunt she wants to hunt. The lion she's thinking she's hunting. That's not a lion at all. That's a predator. That's
Got it.
it. That's all there is to it. It's bloody fantastic.
90 minutes?
No, 2 hours.
2 hours?
2 hours, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 2 hours.
Why?
It's
so
it's
weird.
no, it's a coming of age movie. So the pacing in the beginning is
Okay.
kind of like a coming of age pacing, right? And it's very slow burn, great cinematography.
Okay.
But and the Predator is also here's also another brilliant thing. Since the coming of ages of the Comanche girl, the girl is also growing up. Predator has come to the Earth for the first time, so he's also discovering the planet slowly and steadily. He's trying to figure out which people to hunt and which people not to hunt, how not to hunt. It's fantastically done. Directed by the same guy who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane. So
हाँ,
yeah.
बट आई थिंक अमर्त्य तूने भी मुझे बोला था ना एक दिन, लाइक प्राइवेट में डीएम में, कि इसके लिए प्रेडेटर्स, लाइक कोई भी इसके पहले की
कोई
प्रेडेटर
जरूरत
फिल्म
नहीं है.
देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. लाइक आई थिंक
नहीं है
ईस्टर
कोई.
एग्स हो गए, लेकिन आई डोंट थिंक ज्यादा मैटर करेंगे.
No,
जस्ट
no, no,
लाइक
not
वैसा
at all.
सीन है. सो बहुत अच्छी
Not at all.
बात एक्चुअली लगी मुझे. मैं एक्साइटेड था, लेकिन पता नहीं क्यों एकदम ठप हो गया कि चलो पता ही नहीं. लेकिन अभी देखेंगे जरूर. फिर से याद दिलाया अमर्त्य ने. सो या लाइक
Yeah.
जो ध्रुव अभी मुझे जानने की बहुत उत्सुकता हो रही है कि यार तू कौन सी फिल्म बोलेगा.
I am
Amartya,
thinking
can you
this is
guess
going to
it?
be I think this is going to be the 3-hour movie or something, if I'm not wrong.
No, it's not. It's a 7-hour, 19-minute movie.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is.
Saturn Tango.
Yep.
Satan Tango, yes. I
Oh,
had to
wow.
mention it, right? Because firstly, I have to show that I've actually watched it because it's
Yeah,
a
Cinephile
badge of honor, right?
Yep,
Badge
yep.
of honor.
Crucible
And
है,
then
crucible है ये.
there's no God in his world. Sorry, Amartya. कोई
No,
कुछ नहीं है वहाँ.
कुछ भी नहीं
Anyways,
है.
no, but you said 30 minutes. I was just thinking my next movie is going to be a 7 or 20-minute movie recommendation. So it's not even, I don't know how to recommend this movie. I think most people who are into cinephilia know about this movie. Like they know
Yeah.
about it even though they haven't seen it. They know what Satan Tango is and like what the director also is. And I'll be very honest, I'm not a fan of Bellatar's other movies. I know people will like come out with like whatever stuff to hit me,
Yeah,
but it's fine.
if they're going to come out, just tell them, since you are going to come out, tell us which Bellatar movies have you actually watched before coming out.
I think
Also,
most of the fans of his films have actually seen most of his movies, from what I
yeah,
know
so
at
they're not
least.
going to come out. They're not going to come out. Fans of Bellatar movies know that Bellatar not
A quiet taste,
everybody's cup
yes,
of tea.
yes, yeah. So I was surprised actually to find this movie very, very engaging, and I know that's not a word I associate with Bellatar in general. And I messaged Amartya saying after
और
watching
तू
this,
ठीक है?
वो ठीक है,
तू
लेकिन
ठीक है? तू
पहली
ठीक
बात
है?
पहली बात ध्रुव ये कितने सीटिंग में देखी?
एक दिन में देखी. So
अच्छा.
it's a 7-hour 20-minute film. I saw it in one day. So basically, it's divided into 12 chapters. So it kind of gives you the ability to take a break after one chapter ends and
so
all that.
नेटफ्लिक्स के जो बिंज वॉचर्स है ना, जो कहते हैं ना 7
वही.
आवर मूवी देखने का नहीं, 12
हाँ
चैप्टर है,
हाँ.
चैप्टर वाइज ब्रेक करके देख लो, कोई इशू नहीं है.
Basically. It is that only, yeah. If it's the whole TV series ka phenomena. Like if this was
Yeah.
broken into 12 chapters, you would have seen it by now.
If Bellatar actually released it
वो
now
नहीं
she would have
करेगा ना, but
succeeded in
नहीं
the
ना,
that
next.
is
देख
not the
उसका वो पेसिंग के वजह
I'm
से
just
वगैरह
saying that's how
ऑब्वियसली
it would have been.
वो लाइक वो स्लो ही होता डेफिनेटली, लाइक वो
वो तो
इग्नोर
है ही
करते ही। लेकिन हाँ,
yeah.
अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट डेफिनेटली वो टीवी सीरीज समझ के तो यार अभी मतलब देख ही
Yeah.
भी लेते।
Pacing is of course there, but I told message Amartya after watching finishing it, this is his action movie, which to me is like, so see the thing is this has all his films are about decay and destruction and whatever. Basically, everything is ending is kind of his. From whatever
Hmm.
I've seen from his, basically like it's the end of the world. That's his
It,
whole philosophy almost
fatalism,
in his films.
fatalism, basically.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's the world is ending, and the films are about that ending world. Basically, it's just that whichever films I've seen apart from this, I feel he puts those films in a position where my subjective brain goes, if the world is this bad, why are these people even alive?
Even
Like,
alive, yeah.
why have they not killed themselves off? If the world is this bad, why have these people not killed themselves off? With Satan Tango, it's good. It's engaging for me because it's basically about how this community gets separated, or a community falls apart because of this guy who comes in like a cult-like figure, who basically
Ah,
tells them that you should try this new thing, which is the whole fall of communism and capitalism, whatever. It's the whole subtext there, and everything is there. It's not even subtext; it's text
it's
only.
not.
To
I'm
be
pretty
very
sure it
honest.
isn't.
हाँ वो टेक्स्ट ही है
But
बट द
text,
आइडिया हाँ वो आइडिया इज बेसिकली फर्स्टली आई actually think he's a fantastic director of atmosphere. I think
yeah.
very few people can capture the sound and the feeling of a storm or of wind, of rain falling as effectively as he does. Like he really knows how to do that well. I don't like when his characters speak sometimes because his dialogue sounds a lot like reading a novel. And that to me, in terms of the film quality, like if you're watching something and it sounds like a novel, I always find it distracting. Anyways, my point is I don't know when you'll watch it or if you should watch it. Like, I don't know in any sane capacity, any person should sit down and watch this. But I feel if you're in a mood where you want to feel horrible, um, and you want to
Mm. Yeah,
have like
yeah.
one, but I don't know how to recommend this movie. It's impossible almost.
बट
I
आई
feel to
थिंक
recommend.
ये
Like
7 घंटे
melancholia.
20 मिनट की है, लाइक
Yeah,
7 घंटे 20 मिनट में मुझे लगता है कि मुझे 14 घंटे 40 मिनट तो पहले सोना पड़ेगा और फिर जाके उठ के ये देखूंगा तो तब जाके ओके मैं उसके बीच बीच में
बीच
नहीं
बीच में
सोऊंगा।
I'm
सो
ready.
जाना ना.
I'm
नहीं
ready.
नहीं नहीं
I'm ready.
भाई, फिर ना वो आंधे तारकोफ्स्की जैसा होता है यार कि नहीं यार कि वो होता नहीं, वो
Oh
कैचअप नहीं
God.
होता है फिर कि
Am I
क्या
going
देखा
to
था पहले।
recommend the? I'm going to recommend the Tark. I'm not. Don't worry. I'm not going to recommend the Tark movie. I watched this movie.
Nahi,
No, no,
nahi.
no.
So see again. I know it's easy. Like I'm sure the fans of the film know how effective it is. I have to admit the film has stayed with me since I watched it. I have not
Mm.
forgotten about it. It's stuck in my head not just because it's a long movie, but because the film's atmosphere is strong enough for it to linger in your head. There's a particular I'm just going to mention this and move on from this. Then there's a particular sound of church bells.
Hmm.
These church bells keep on ringing, and some people think they are actual church bells, and some people think they are fake. But the sound of those rings so much throughout the whole film that by the end you're just like, I was like, where I can hear these. It's like still, it's like you get into that hypnotic state almost. It's like
Mm.
the atmosphere
I have.
overwhelms you.
I always, even when I'm reviewing stuff all the time, I have to bring up this fact that whether the existence of this movie or whether the features of this movie, the existence of it is justified. My
Hmm.
question is 7 hour 20 minutes, itna long runtime, is it justified?
No, it's not. I think.
Okay.
And I think if you see one chapter in the film,
Yeah.
it tells you the whole story also. I think.
Okay.
So to
Okay.
me, it's not justified. I know I like
Yeah.
the film, but I don't think it's a
I'm
justified
I'm
ending.
asking you I'm asking you to take into consideration that you are watching what is effectively described as slow cinema, right?
Yeah.
So even
The
taking
seven
that
hour
into
the 7 hour 20 minutes feels like 10 hours, which
okay.
is going to.
Yeah,
It
okay.
just is because it's slow cinema.
Yeah.
So yeah. This is a very frank opinion of a film which I actually really like. But yeah, for a general audience, no, please don't watch it. Also,
हाँ
it has a sequence of animal cruelty. So whoever is
Yeah,
averse to
anybody
that,
who is,
hmm, please don't
of course.
venture. And it is that scene with the animal cruelty that I think is the central piece of the whole film. If you watch that segment of the film, I think you kind of get the whole story. So
Okay.
yeah, make of that whatever you will. But yes,
Oh, wow.
sorry, Satan Tango fans. I came in wanting to champion it, but I've inadvertently called it
My
something
fault.
that's
My
unnecessarily long.
fault. My fault. I questioned him a logical question. Yeah. Anyway.
कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, उसमें क्या
Yeah.
लाइक मैंने एक लास्ट 2 फ़िल्म लाइक मैंने एक फ़िल्म के बारे में मैं पहले बात करूँगा जस्ट नोप देखी थी मैंने अभी जस्ट थिएटर में।
I was going to talk about it, but yeah,
ओके सो
साथ
तू
में कर
बात कर
लो बात,
एक्चुअली
बट
सो
स्पॉइलरों के बिना बात करना प्लीज.
हाँ, डेफ़िनेटली, डेफ़िनेटली। सो
हाँ.
मैं एक्चुअली बात नहीं करूँगा क्योंकि लाइक आई विल लेट अमर्त्य टॉक अबाउट इट क्योंकि मुझे इतनी टॉप नहीं लगी, लेकिन चलो अमर्त्य एक्चुअली बात कर ली। लेकिन मुझे एक फ़िल्म के बारे में बात करनी थी जो वी काइंड ऑफ बहुत अच्छी लगी मुझे, द सन्स रूम करके बाय नानी मोराटी 2001 की पाल्म डोर विनिंग फ़िल्म है। हाँ, यार मतलब बहुत अच्छी वेल मेड फैमिली ड्रामा थी। आई थिंक नानी मोराटी का लाइक बहुत वेल नोन डायरेक्टर नहीं है। बहुत कम लोग को पता रहेगा। मूवी पे मैंने देखी और मूवी पे बहुत उसके रिकमेंडेशंस आते रहते हैं कि लाइक द कॉमेडीज़ ऑफ नानी मोराटी या मतलब
I
वैसे आई
saw
थिंक
some movie ka thing also, yeah, with
हाँ,
the
लाइक उसका भी डबल बिलिंग आया है लाइक वैसा है। सो ये फ़िल्म में वो खुद एक्ट भी कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे लाइक उसने ये फ़िल्म को लिखा था, डायरेक्ट भी किया था और इसमें एक्ट भी किया था। अम, मुझे तो बहुत ही बढ़िया लगी थी, बहुत ही सिंपल लगी थी जैसे पाल्म डोर विनिंग फ़िल्म्स होती है जैसे आई थिंक हाँ, मतलब बोल सकते हैं ना कि 2000 में पाल्म डोर डांसर इन द डार्क को दिया था जो आई थिंक बहुत ही डार्क थी कंपेयर टू अभी फिर जाके कट टू ये काफ़ी लाइट जैसा ट्रांज़िशन जैसा रहा था लाइक पाल्म डोर विनर्स
controversy थी, but I think Dancer in the Dark जब जीती थी तो
yeah.
भी, हाँ. So I
कौन-सी
Even
mean
I
कंट्रोवर्सी
जो
है? वो
मुझे
नहीं पता
पता
था।
even I remember that. Yeah.
है कोई controversy. I mean it's not a pleasant movie, which yeah.
हाँ, मुझे लाइक मुझे तो वो भी बहुत अच्छी लगी थी ऐसे लाइक मुझे है नहीं
नहीं
लाइक
नहीं है बहुत अच्छी, बट बिल्कुल लाइक प्लेजेंट तो आता भी नहीं है उसमें पी उसका. It's very dark, Dancer in the Dark तो, which is in
एग्ज़ैक्टली।
the title also of course, but like yeah.
ट्रू दैट
uh,
बट लेकिन
yeah.
वो फ़िल्म जीती थी अगले साल ही तुरंत ही एक ऐसी काइंड ऑफ लाइट हार्टेड फादर सन काइंड ऑफ फैमिली काइंड ऑफ अ फ़िल्म जैसे लाइक इस बेसिकली प्लॉट में ऐसा होता है कि लाइक जैसे एक फैमिली होती है उसमें से एक उन लाइक वो फैमिली में एक बेटा मर जाता है। सो वो कैसे उस लाइक लव एंड लॉस का जैसा है कि पहले इतना प्यार करते थे कि मतलब लाइक बेसिकली वो ये बंदा जो है साइकियाट्रिस्ट होता है। नैनी मोराटी जो लीड कैरेक्टर है वो साइकियाट्रिस्ट है और वो कैसे डील करता है जस्ट एक बंदे के साथ लाइक बेसिकली उसमें एक सीन ऐसा होता है कि है ना एक बंदा लाइक एक पेशेंट रहता है वो उसको अर्जेंटली बुलाता है अपने घर पे क्योंकि वो बहुत ही गंदा महसूस कर रहा है और उसी दिन वो साइकियाट्रिस्ट अपने बेटे को किधर तो ऐसे ही लेके जाने वाला रहता है। लेकिन वो प्लान कैंसल करके बेटा किसी और जगह जाता है और वो बेटा उसी और जगह मर जाता है। वो है ना जब भी मरता है तो तभी वो महसूस करता है कि यार शिट यार मतलब वो मैं पेशेंट कैंसल कर देता उसका अपॉइंटमेंट तो मैं आज मेरा बेटा यहाँ पे रहता और वो ग्रीफ से इतना वो जूझता है और वो जो पूरा सीक्वेंस है पूरा आई थिंक वो पूरा मूवी उसके ऊपर ही आगे आगे प्ले आउट होता है। आई थिंक वो साइकियाट्रिस्ट का कि उसके दिमाग में क्या चलते रहता है पूरे टाइम में उसके ऊपर ही पूरी स्टोरी है और जो जो हार्ट टचिंग फिल्म है मैं बोलूँगा कि लाइक हाईली रिकमेंडेड इट्स ऑन मूवी। आई थिंक ये मैंने फ़िल्म का नाम पहली बार तो मुझे एक इंटरव्यू में पता चला था। एक हाँ, ये था सो इंटरव्यू नहीं बोल सकते लेकिन रिचर्ड कर्टिस और डैनी बॉयल वो एक वीडियो में थे जो जहाँ पे उन लोग डीवीडीज़ ऐसे पिक कर रहे थे। आई थिंक रिचर्ड कर्टिस को ये फ़िल्म ऐसे लाइक बोल दिया ओह दिस इज़ द ग्रेटेस्ट मूवी एवर मेड वैसा बोल दिया। मैं बोला ये
Okay.
कौन-सी है? सो फिर जाके आई कट टू ईएफएम में जब भी मैंने देखी, ओके हाँ यार, सच में वो कुछ जो चीज उसने बोली like, बराबर, हाँ यार, it is something like very much great. So वैसे था.
Sounds
So
so whatever you said, it sounds a lot like not a lot, but at least has similarities to Manchester by the Sea. At
Yeah,
least in the whole how the
I
grief
won't
के
be
बाद sort of.
I won't be sub ये निकला था कब?
ये
यानी वो
2001 में था, आया था ना, 2001 का
हाँ
पाम डोर विनर है.
I won't
Okay.
be surprised if Lonergan was kind of inspired by this.
Influenced.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Maybe.
हो
होगा.
Yeah.
सकता है, हो सकता है. आई थिंक
Hmm.
उसके एक साल बाद ही ये मतलब एक साल पहले ही वो उसने एक फिल्म बनाई थी. लाइक
हाँ,
तभी लाइक ही वाज इन द बिजनेस अगेन अगेन. आई
You
थिंक
can
वो
count on me or
यू कैन
something,
काउंट ऑन
right?
मी, एग्जैक्टली
Yeah,
वो
yeah, yeah. With
इसके
Mark
साथ मार्क
Ruffalo
रफेलो,
and Laura
लॉरा
Linney,
लिनी,
I think.
या
Yeah, yeah.
हम्म,
उसके साथ थी. बट या श्योर, एनी लाइक क्या बोल सकते हैं, just special entries, anything, just जो small
yeah.
like uh,
हम्म.
any special mentions तुम लोग दोनों में.
स्पेशल मेंशंस तो एक है ग्लोरियस
Hmm.
Okay, वो
हॉरर
कौन सी
मूवी,
है?
इंडिपेंडेंट
Cosmic
हॉरर
horror,
मूवी,
right? You said.
कॉस्मिक हॉरर, रेबेका
Hmm.
मैकेंड्री का है. बेसिक कंसेप्ट ये है, बंदे का ब्रेकअप हो जाता है, ड्रंकन बिंज में वो गाड़ी चला के आता है रेस्ट रूम पे, ठीक है, पब्लिक पब्लिक
कौन से साल में रिलीज हुई थी?
अभी
2022.
इस साल.
ओह अच्छा, ओके,
सुनो
ग्लोरियस, ओके.
कहानी सुनो. आता है, बाथरूम पे आता है, पब्लिक बाथरूम पे बात करता रहता है. दूसरे बाथरूम स्टॉल से एक बंदे का आवाज आता है. बंदा इज वॉइस बाय जेके सिमंस. जेके सिमंस कहता है, आई नो हु यू आर, आई नो व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, आई नो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड टू यू, आई नीड योर
Hmm.
हेल्प. क्यों हेल्प क्यों चाहिए? क्योंकि मैं एक लवक्राफ्टियन गॉड हूँ, मुझे तुम्हारा मदद चाहिए. अगर तुमने मुझे मदद नहीं किया, पूरा दुनिया खत्म हो जाएगी.
Wow. Simple.
Simple, basic, simple
Hmm.
concept. Bloody fantastic movie. It's
Alright.
very weird. It's very violent.
देखना
That's
It's
पड़ेगा.
good. Nani,
it's extremely violent.
I have it on my laptop. I have to watch that, Prey, and Nope. All three I have to watch. Yeah.
And of course another special mention is No. Uh, I'm not spoiling it. Don't worry,
Please
I'm not.
don't. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All I can say is because this is Jordan Peele had a lot of different ideas again. Like us के तरह उसके पास बहुत सारे ideas थे. एनिमल रैंगलिंग और हॉलीवुड का हिस्ट्री विद एनिमल रैंगलर्स, उसका एक आइडिया था. ही मिक्सेस दिस विथ यूएफओ.
Yeah.
या how much that works in its favor and how much that doesn't work in its favor is the main conceit of the movie.
Okay.
I think it works better than us, honestly. I think
Yeah.
original movies like this are very rare. I think as a horror movie too, it's
It made
very
money
well done.
also, no?
It
Like
made money.
comparatively. Yeah.
Comparatively, it made money.
Always
Yeah.
encouraging, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, क्योंकि original movies not part of any franchising.
Or this is a high budgeted, like 60,
Yeah,
60 million, I think, or
बट आई
50
थिंक
million.
गेट आउट के बाद उसको पैसे मिले ही है, और उसके लाइक फिल्म्स पे रिटर्न्स भी बहुत आए हैं. सो लाइक आई
yeah,
थिंक
No,
because
but Get Out was what, like 5-10 million, right? And
yeah,
Us
this
is
is
also
one.
like 20-30, I think, not
Yeah,
this
this
big.
is one of these guys. Jordan Peele is quickly becoming one of those directors जिसका नाम ही enough है to bring people to theaters.
Nolan,
मैं
Tarantino.
खुद उसके
Scorsese,
कहने लाइक वो रिटन एंड डायरेक्टेड बाय जॉर्डन पील, ओके चलो मैं गया थिएटर्स में,
yeah,
बस वैसे ही हो गया था.
Nolan,
Huh.
Tarantino, Scorsese, even
Scorsese
Scorsese is
and
releasing,
Spielberg don't have that pull now.
even Scorsese is releasing movies on Netflix. क्या
Yeah,
दिन है?
नहीं,
and
इवन स्पीलबर्ग
Spielberg
का
का
भी
नहीं
इतना
चलता.
पुल नहीं है, क्योंकि लाइक इवन वेस्ट
Hmm.
साइड स्टोरी भी मतलब अच्छा नहीं चला था, वो लाइक बॉम्ब
Exactly.
हो रहा था, वैसा था.
Yeah, yeah.
उसके नाम से भी नहीं चल हो रहा है यार, वैसा सीन है.
Yeah, I think West Side Story का problem था कि it's a musical. That's a
Boss.
big issue.
Other
That's a big.
musicals do well.
कहाँ पे In the Heights कहाँ किया है musical?
The Greatest Showman.
Okay, that movie.
You
La
said
La
good
Land.
examples. I gave you example. La
No,
La
La La
Land.
Land. Did La La Land make money? That's also a big
Yeah, of course
question.
it did.
Did it
इसलिए
though?
तो
It
Yeah,
won
it did.
Oscars. That's why it did. It got
No,
re-released
it
then.
made
That's why
money before. Amartya, I know you don't like the movie, but they did make
I,
money.
me liking and not liking the movie is irrelevant. I believe that it's a piece of trash, but that's neither here nor there,
It's
right?
not that okay. That's insulting. I like
Horrendous.
that movie.
बाप रे
It's
बाप रे
horrendous. It's horrendous.
Anyways, before we descend into anything else, I'll just name pick
हाँ
another film, not a film, but a mini series, which I rewatched, which is one of my favorite mini series. It's Olive Kittredge on
Uh, I
Hotstar,
saw.
HBO,
हॉटस्टार
whatever you want.
HBO
Absolutely fantastic
रिचर्ड
mini
जेनकिंस
series.
और ये ना
Francis
फ्रांसिस मैकडॉर्मंड
McDormand.
Francis McDormand. Yeah.
Richard Jenkins is, I mean, Frances McDormand is always amazing. I think this is probably my favorite performance of her. And she does this type of role many times, like this sort of bitter,
Yeah.
slightly pissed off at everything kind of lady. But she gets so much screen
Out
time
of
in
that.
this to develop her character also, that it just is it's a rich character. You know, it's very hard to make films about difficult characters for 4 episodes who, and she remains difficult throughout. Like she never becomes someone different. She always is very difficult to deal with, but that makes her very relatable in some sense. At least to me it does. And yeah. But yes, it's
ये एक्चुअली ये कमेंट वो लाला लैंड वाले थिंग के लिए था ये शायद से
okay, got it.
No, this is a general comment. Trust me, it is a general comment. This is a general comment.
Yeah.
अच्छा
No, but so yeah, Olive Kittredge, anyone who's interested in watching, and this is a mini series which is 4 episodes and like 50 minutes each, so it's actually a movie compared to
4 घंटे की
whatever.
फिल्म
It's shorter than Satan Tango.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Can I
yeah,
recommend a
watch it.
TV series?
मैं
Not
एक्चुअली बोलने वाला था एक टीवी
not
सीरीज
Better Call,
लेकिन हाँ तू
not Better Call Saul, क्योंकि everybody has seen that. That's fine. Everybody who has been watching it has watched Better Call Saul, so it's fine. I think if people haven't watched The Sandman, I think they should really get on it.
Netflix, right?
Netflix, yeah.
Hmm.
Because again, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I couldn't believe when I was watching this that how well made it is. It's insane. It's based on one of the graphic novels. People famously say that it's unadaptable.
Is this time travel, Amartya?
No, thank God. Thank God. Let's not go into time travel again. But no, this is more. This is about. This is a story about storytelling. That's the most succinct way I can put it. This is a story about dreams. This is a story about the power of dreaming, the power of imagination, and basically power of storytelling itself. That's how I can describe it honestly. And it's made by Neil Gaiman. And if you know anything about Neil Gaiman, you know that he's a fantastic storyteller. Just dekho. Just yeah, it's fantastic.
मैंने एक्चुअली मैंने 3-6 फिल्म देखी थी 2 महीने के स्पैन में, लेकिन मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि उसके बीच में मैंने एक टीवी सीरीज देखी थी, मिनी सीरीज भी नहीं बोल सकते, टीवी सीरीज एक्चुअली, जो कि चैनल 4 की है, यूके की, यूटोपिया. ओ माय गॉड, ओ बाप रे, लाइक इस सीरीज पे मैं बात करते ही जा सकता हूँ, ऐसा ऐसा शो है यार ये, क्योंकि इतना ग्रिपिंग, इतना रेलेवेंट, इतना वायलेंट, इतना गोरी कंटेंट, इतना ऐसा मैंने हार्डली कभी किधर देखा होगा यार, क्योंकि ऐसा मतलब इसमें किलिंग्स ऐसे हो रहे कि जस्ट कुछ मैटर ही नहीं करता है, वैसा ऐसे तो किलिंग्स हो रहे
ये
हैं.
2020 वाला यूटोपिया, आई वाज जस्ट
नहीं,
सर्चिंग.
लोगों को वो कंफ्यूजन हो
Not
रहा
the
नहीं
American
है.
version. Not the American version.
Okay.
एग्जैक्टली यूके का
The
यूटोपिया है.
UK version. Don't watch the American.
एग्जैक्टली,
So Adil Akhtar के साथ.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली, अदिल अख्तर है
Okay.
उसमें.
Okay. Okay.
सो मतलब वैसा है. सो लाइक इन बेसिकली इन लोग क्या होता है कि इन लोग 5 लोग जो होते हैं ना, उन लोग को एक ग्राफिक नॉवल मतलब ढूंढनी रहती है. बेसिकली ग्राफिक नॉवल में ना बहुत सारे जो मतलब इवेंट्स रहते हैं ना, सो कॉल्ड लाइक इवेंट्स, वो सब उसमें मतलब हिडन जैसे रहता है कि लाइक ओके ये इवेंट अभी होने वाला है, इवेंट एज इन ये पैंडेमिक जैसा होने वाला है अभी, ऐसा. सो वैसा है. लेकिन सीन है कि वो जिसने लिखा है ना, he was one of the like he was one of like वो पार्ट था इस हिडन सोसाइटी का, उस हिडन ग्रुप्स का, जो ऐसे सब बहुत सालों पहले से प्लान करती आ रही है कि अपन ऐसा कोई वायरस छोड़ेंगे इस साल में जो जिससे ऐसा होगा और फ्यूचर में ऐसा मतलब बहुत गंदी चीज होगी जो ह्यूमैनिटी को आई थिंक बदल देगी, और जो आई थिंक वी आर करंटली काइंड ऑफ लिविंग इन दैट दोस काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशंस वेयर फिर ऐसा सब मतलब सच में मैंने जब देखा और वो वैक्सीन्स और वायरस और ऐसे सब बात कर रहे थे ना, ओके लाइक एक सीन में तो ऐसा भी था कि सार्स वायरस करके था, आई थिंक 2002 में आया था, तभी था लाइक वो जस्ट उसमें से ऑब्वियसली डायलॉग था, अभी कितना सच है कितना झूठ में मुझे नहीं पता चलता है, लेकिन सिर्फ एक डायलॉग था उसमें बोलते हैं कि लाइक जो सार्स वायरस सिर्फ थोड़े लोग को ब्रीदिंग बीमारी जैसी थी, इन लोगों ने पेंडेमिक बना दिया और इतने लाइक इतना हल्ला मच गया, बस ऐसा था बोला।
The organization का नाम द नेटवर्क था, right? If I'm not wrong, if I'm
ओके
thinking it
मुझे
right.
मुझे
I
एक्चुअली याद नहीं आ रहा है कि लाइक वो क्या था,
yeah, I
लेकिन
think that was
हाँ एग्जैक्टली, लेकिन मतलब ऐसा है कि ये बोलते हैं ना कि 1984 का मॉडर्न वर्जन बोल सकते हैं, ऐसा है कि इतना डार्क ग्रूसम, ऐसा है कि बहुत रियलिज्म जैसा दिखने मिला। जैसे अगर मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि ये शो को 2020 के पहले दिखता होता तो इतना इम्पैक्ट नहीं गिरता जितना अब भी मैं देखता हूँ, क्योंकि लाइक वो अपन उससे गुजर रहे हैं, क्योंकि वो आई थिंक ये इसका एक कंटेजियन, हाँ कंटेजियन की बात है, लाइक कंटेजियन भी कैसा पहले दिखते थे तो कितना ओके हाँ हो सकता है, लेकिन अब भी देखते हैं तो लाइक आई थिंक मार्च 2020 में तो वो ट्रेंड भी हो रही थी, मार्च और अप्रैल में
oh yeah,
it was.
कि जैसे लाइक
it
लोग
was the
सह
most
रहे थे।
watched movie on iTunes. Yeah.
एग्जैक्टली क्योंकि लोग वो जी रहे थे, तो वो उसको लाइक उसके थ्रू लोगों को पता चला कि यार 10
So
साल
weird
या
though.
पहले
Like people want to
Yeah, I
live
think
it.
people want to live
They were living it, but they wanted to watch a film which is about living it.
about
It's
living
so
in it.
weird.
एग्जैक्टली तो वैसे ये भी है काइंड ऑफ, क्योंकि आई थिंक जब भी ये सब पेंडेमिक हुआ वगैरह सब हुआ, अपन लाइक इस शो को देखने के बाद मैं खुद ऐसे काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन कर रहा हूँ यार कि फक इज इट लाइक क्या ये सब रियल है वगैरह सब, क्या है ये सब, और वो
Or
बहुत
doesn't it
माइंड
make you more
फकिंग।
paranoid only? Yeah, doesn't it make you more scared? Like in general, just like
स्कैर्ड तो डेफिनेटली ब्रो, स्कैर्ड
Contagion.
डेफिनेटली।
Though I got scared when I watched it the first time only. I was like, I had to go back in a bus to like my college or school. I was like, who's going to touch the
स्कैर्ड
railing of
डेफिनेटली
that
ब्रो, स्कैर्ड
of that
डेफिनेटली,
bus?
क्योंकि इसमें
Yeah.
ऐसा था कि मतलब क्या हो रहा है यार, वो जस्ट द 1% ऑफ द पीपल जो टॉप एलीट में बैठते हैं, जो पॉलिटिशियन से भी ऊपर होते हैं बाय द वे, तो वो कैसे डिसाइड करते कि इतने सारे लोग का फ्यूचर जस्ट बिकॉज उसमें क्या है कि ओवर पॉपुलेशन बहुत बढ़ गया है, तो चलो कुछ करते हैं अपन यार वैसा। ओ फक इतना बोलते हैं ना कि आई थिंक फर्स्ट एपिसोड से मैंने मतलब वो डाउनलोड किया था वो प्रिंट, उसमें तो बहुत मैंने थोड़ा डीवीडी कमेंट्री भी सुना था। उन लोग जैसे शूट कर रहे थे और लाइक उसमें डीवीडी कमेंट्री भी था और इवन एक्स्ट्रा बिहाइंड द सीन्स भी था, उन लोग कैसे शूट कर रहे थे और कैसे वो माइंडसेट में चल रहा था वो मेकर्स के, माइंड ब्लोइंग
Yeah.
इसलिए तो। बट
Interesting. Yeah.
एग्जैक्टली सो फाइनली थैंक यू सो वेरी मच अमर्त्य, ध्रुव, इस
Thank you.
इस
Thank you for
एपिसोड में
inviting
आने
me.
के
Thank
लिए
you.
यार, मतलब आई थिंक 1 घंटा 3 मिनट हो गया, आई थिंक ये मेरा बोलते ना कि वन ऑफ द लॉन्गेस्ट चल गया, क्योंकि यार ऐसे फिल्म्स और टी शोज के बारे में बात करने में मजा ही आ जाती है। थैंकफुली 7 घंटा 20 मिनट तो नहीं चल सकता है, लेकिन 1 घंटा 3 मिनट तो चल सकता है।
Live commentary करेंगे
ये
certain टाइमों पे एक दिन।
डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली अपन वो भी
मूवी
पार्ट्स में
वाले
12
लोग
पार्ट्स में
मार
डिवाइड
देंगे
करेंगे।
हमें।
वही seriously.
मूवी और क्राइटेरियन क्राउड हमें मार देगा अगर हम लोगों ने कभी लाइव कमेंट्री की सर्टेन टाइमों पे।
इसलिए तो
half of the
डेफिनेटली
time half of the time the live commentary would be like, I'm sleepy, मैं सोने जा रहा हूँ. That will be the other live commentary, you know, सोने जा रहा हूँ. अरे कुछ हो क्यों नहीं रहा है? That will be the live commentary most of the
होता है सर, काफी कुछ होता है उस पिक्चर में। I'm just
time.
confirming.
मुझे देखना
ओके
पड़ेगा यार.
मुझे भी सो यार थैंक यू सो वेरी मच, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आने के लिए यार, थैंक यू सो मच, एंड होपफुली ऐसी ही फिल्म के बारे में अगले महीने भी बात करते के लेके, होपफुली सी यू सून गाइस, थैंक यू सो मच एंड गुड बाय।
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.